Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. One way we can get the most out of our practice management software is using it to securely store credit card information that we have from our clients. And so for those of you that are using Clio Payments, you may have seen this feature that allows us to store that credit card information. But what happens when we have two different clients and we're trying to collect payment from both of them? So for example, maybe they're paying, splitting the bill 50-50 and one client is paying half and the other client is paying the other half. In that scenario, then we need to make sure that we can use both stored credit cards in order to pay that bill. And Clio makes that a little bit tricky. So I've come up with a workaround that I want to share with you guys. So let's head on over to our Clio screen. And the first thing I want to show you is, for those of you that are not familiar with that feature, if we come over here to our client, Joe Smith, you'll see under his contact information, we have this billing information tab right here, and it allows us to go ahead and click here and request a payment method. So when I click on this button, it's going to give me a link to send to my client. And when my client clicks on that link, they'll be asked to enter their credit card information, and it stores it securely within Clio so that I can't see it or access it unless I'm paying a bill. And so what happens is, again, very secure method, great idea for a majority of our firms out there. What happens though is when I come over to my matter, it does tell me that I have one payment method on file, but it's really just looking at the client on that matter in order to see that payment method. And so it sees that the client has a payment method, but it doesn't necessarily see that maybe the co-client who's listed as a related contact has a billing method. So what happens is when I go to my bills here now and I want to try and pay this bill and I click on charge credit card, it's going to bring up this screen. It's going to say I'm charging the credit card. And if we come down here, you can see that it's going to, or if you see here at the top, it's looking at my Melanie Leonard as the client, Melanie's credit card information. And it's going to use that when I click on billing information, it's going to use that credit card information. I'll have to confirm it with the address and everything, and then it will use that credit card information to pay the bill. But what if I only want to pay half the bill, right? So I'm going to pay $5,000, and then the co-client's going to pay the other $5,000. If in fact that happens, now we have to figure out how to get that client's, that co-client's information into this bill. So here's the workaround. Here's the trick. Until such time as Clio allows you to either charge multiple credit cards or have multiple clients on a matter, which is coming soon according to their announcement at ClioCon, until such time, we're going to go ahead and in our matter, if we were to pay that first $5,000 just the way that I showed you with the client's credit card information that's being stored, the workaround here is if I go ahead and click on edit matter here, and if I come and make the client now the co-client, right? So if instead I bring up the co-client now who's a related contact and make him the client, now what happens is he's the client, right? And the co-client, I'm still going to leave him there. He's the client. I go ahead to my bill now and I say charge the credit card for the bill, and now it's taking his credit card information. And now when I click on billing information, I'll see his address and all his credit card information that I can now confirm and pay the additional $5,000 that would be left on this bill after I've made my payment. So again, the trick to this workaround, of course, is to remember that when I'm done, to go back and update my matter with the actual client so that in the future, we don't get confused or forget who this client is. And so it's not ideal, but I still think that the benefit of being able to store those credit card numbers in Clio is huge. And I am anxious for the day that we get rid of all those PDFs and all those documents that we're housing with our clients' credit card numbers in our Dropbox folders or in Clio or wherever else. Once we start storing those credit card numbers in Clio more securely, it's going to greatly reduce and alleviate the risk that we have of losing those credit cards or having them, or I should say, having them used inappropriately. So check out that feature. If you're not already requesting credit card information from your clients, I would definitely recommend that you do that. And now you can pay the bill with 2 credit cards. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Have a great evening.